Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and I'm Jayden, and today I'm actually bringing you guys all the way to District 22, the west side of Singapore, the LakeGarden residence, an en-bloc project launch, formerly known as the Lakeside Apartment, a development with an exceptional view over the Lakeside Garden, thus the name of the project lah. Right, so they're actually starting their preview this weekend on the 22nd of July, and today I actually have a guest with me, John, to actually share with me, or rather you guys lah, about the development. So welcome, John. So maybe introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is John. So I've been in the West area projects, covering a lot of projects for the past many years. So I'm very excited to share with you today about this upcoming project called the Lake Garden Residences. Right?
Okay, so the purpose of having John with me is to actually share some in-depth about the development and some of the unique features and the future of the Jurong Lake district. Yeah, because that is gonna be one of the most exciting region that we can talk about, especially in the west. Yeah, so maybe right now we kickstart some of the Q&A, or rather some of the reviews with John. So John, maybe you can share with us some of the info and facts about the Lake Garden residence, like who is the developer, how many blocks are there, how many units, what are the ceiling height, the car park to unit ratio, the expected TOP date, and are there any bus services to the nearest MRT and the bedroom types within the project?
Yes, you bring up a good point. So for the Lake Garden Residences, right, it is done by a very prestigious developer called Wing Tai. Who, as you all know, for those people who are in the property scene for long enough, right, Wing Tai developer, they always do very, I would say, atas project lah, or so to speak, whereby the finishing of the project, right, is have to us agents, right, we bring our clients over there, we have not much of complaints because of the track record they have done. Like for example, for example, Garden Residences. These are some of the more prominent projects that Wing Tai has done. So for these Lake Gardens, right, it is two blocks of 19-story high, which will overlook the beautiful Jurong Lake as well as the Jurong Garden, right? And typical height for this particular project, right, it will stand at 2.9 meter, which is a typical condo height. And 75% of the units will be facing either the garden as well as the lake. And the remaining 25% will be looking inwards into the facilities. So all units will be looking at interesting or good looking views. Right, and then for car park, good to know is that it's going to be one-to-one. That means it doesn't mean that there will be a lesser car park space for this particular project.
So it's 100% coverage
Yes.
for unit to car park ratio.
Correct. So one-to-one car park. And expected TOP will be about Q3 of 2027. And because of this particular project site, right, it is roughly about 3 bus stops to Lakeside MRT. Okay. So for the first year, developer has already confirmed that there will be a free shuttle bus first year from the project to Lakeside MRT.
Oh, that's nice, that's nice.
Yes. If not, after the 1 year, if let's say the shuttle bus is this, it's just only a 3 bus stops to Lakeside MRT.
But I think sometimes if the shuttle bus services, create a lot of value to the resident, I think sometimes the MCST will also want to prolong and extend the service, right?
Correct. Yeah. Correct. And then over here, right, we got from one bedder, our smallest unit start from 1 plus study, so all the way to 5 bedder. And of course, developer has do up the super penthouse, which is overlooking at the best view, top of the 2 towers, looking facing towards the lake.
So for the penthouse, is it like a high ceiling or is like a duplex kind of penthouse?
At the point of recording the video, there wasn't a full release of the floor plan, but after that, we found out that there was actually a duplex unit in the Lake Garden residence.
Okay, that's cool, that's cool. All right, so of course, some of you guys may already know like for the Building and Construction Authority, in short BCA, actually recently came out with like the quality housing band rating system to classify developer based on like the quality of the buildings and like at the point of inspection lah. So as John mentioned, the developer Wing Tai, they're actually a band 2 developer, which means that their quality of construction has a certain level of standards. Yeah, so their most recent projects also, like what John mentioned, the Garden Residences actually achieved band 1 rating upon TOP. Yeah. Right. And of course, as a big brand, we know they are not out here to play lah. They definitely come up with like top-notch quality in terms of their finishing. Okay, so enough of my talk. So right now I'm also gonna continue to ask John a couple of questions, and yeah, so we see how it unfolds lah. So John, don't mind, can you just share with us like the location of this development and what are the other main thing lah that is actually in the vicinity?
Okay, so where this project is located, right, is what we call the Jurong Lake District, which is going to be the second biggest CBD in Singapore, whereby by 2030, there will be 100,000 jobs created over here with 20,000 new residential units coming into this piece of area. So there are going to be a lot of fresh vibrancy coming into this area, which makes it more even exciting because as of now, if you look at the whole of Jurong planning, right, it's still not yet fully developed in a sense whereby good news, recently we know that Malaysia and Singapore probably is going to revive the plan of
Bullet train,
yes,
or the
correct,
speed train.
high speed rail, yes, yes. So the high speed rail is probably going to be coming back, but akan datang lah. We wait for Malaysia lah. So hopefully this will bring about even more excitement coming into the Jurong Lake overall planning because that will create a lot more tourism as well as a lot more what we call the MICE lah, the MICE events and all that. They have a lot of visitors coming into or overseas visitors coming for meetings, incentive, and what's it called, events and all that lah. So the whole of Jurong itself, right, it's still, I would say, not yet fully developed. There are a lot of new plannings coming into this area. And this is just talking only about the Jurong Lake district, whereby we all know the typical that kind of CBD vibe. So that day I was talking to one of my clients, say, hey, if really going to be a CBD, next time drive home got ERP or not? So that's one of the joke lah.
But I think when the RTS is done, then I think it will also create a lot of job opportunities for
Yes.
our neighbor countries to come into Singapore.
Yes,
So probably the tenant, there might also be
influx of tenants.
influx of tenants coming in.
So we always talk about connectivity, right? So RTS is going to be a game changer lah. Hopefully, I really do hope that this thing is going to be coming to a fruition because when this thing really comes, it increases the connectivity that we have between Singapore and Malaysia, and that will bring up a lot more demand, not just within Singapore itself, but also from our overseas visitors. Yeah,
And the Jurong Regional Line MRT will
Yes.
also be around the area, right?
correct. So Jurong Regional Line will be covering from we start from the north, maybe it will be from Choa Chu Kang all the way westbound. It's going to be covering until NTU, and then southeastern it will be covering until even the reservoir Pasir Panjang, that area. So west coast vicinity. So Jurong Regional Line will be more like improved connectivity, covering more for the residents who are in this township. Yeah.
Oh, so finally NTU has like the MRT
MRT,
already.
yes.
Yeah, if not, it's really like pull out NTU. You probably need a passport to go over at the particular area.
Yeah, students who are there usually they will have to take buses in and out, or ask their friends who are driving to give them a hitch or something. Yeah, and besides that, maybe just add on also about the Jurong Innovation District, which is also coming up because we mentioned about NTU, right? Jurong Innovation District is not the same as Jurong Lake District. Yeah, Jurong Innovation District is going to be like a hybrid like model between people who are studying there as well as a work kind of they will be housing like those kind of high-tech industries, so it create a seamless how do I call it, seamless a model whereby the students can do job attachment together with the high growth industry that are just beside it. So that will create a lot of what we call the industry 3.0 lah. A lot of new kind of new high pay jobs is going to be there. So it's good news for people who are looking into either buying Jurong projects for own stay or future investment, because we do know that there are a lot of new changes coming into this area.
Means there will be a huge flux of demand looking at the particular area like in terms of residential wise.
Correct.
Okay, cool. And I think then is there any like primary schools that is within that 1 kilometer radius? Because I mean Singaporeans, right? Like the things that we usually look out for in new launches is it near MRT?
Yeah.
The next one is like primary school. Yeah.
Okay, so for schools, for this LakeGarden residences, it is Lakeside Primary is the only primary school that is within 1 kilometer. However, between 1 to 2 kilometer range, we have popular schools like Dula, some of the top schools like even the Canadian schools and whatnot. So for within, just to confirm, within 1 kilometer only Lakeside Primary it is, but 1 to 2 kilometer we have a various of them, Dula Primary, Canadian, International. There's a lot of them. Yeah.
Okay, so now we have talked about like the macro perspective of like the surroundings. So maybe we can talk about the micro perspective. Can you also walk us through like what are the unique features of the Lake Garden residences? Yeah.
Okay, so very interesting. I'm just covering based on the aspect whereby I imagine myself and my family is really going to buy this project, and what are the kind of things will be attracting us. Because just to share, I'm a family of four. I have two young kids. So I brought my kids over to that garden sometimes for an evening stroll and just to let them relax and enjoy the green space. I would imagine a family who really treasure a healthy lifestyle, exercise, greenery, nature, quietness. They will be very attracted to this project because this particular lake garden, right? It also have a direct side gate access to this big garden area, and you have all sorts of amenities over there. In the past, it wasn't as well developed, so now you have a lot of like mega children playground. You have park trails. You have even like the what's that called, the largest outdoor skate park, and there's even a small Starbucks just by the lake, so it's quite chill and quite nice.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
nice, that's nice.
So government is doing a lot to make the place not so boring.
Right. So I think you typically when we see like a lot of transformation or development over at the particular area, that means the government is spending some effort to actually build out that particular area. Imagine like I mean it's just to cater to like the future demand over at the particular location.
Yes.
Right.
So for this lake garden, right? If you are aware of that, the tree project that's over there, this one, according to one of the clients that we reach out, right? This one is positioned in such a way whereby it has the best view out of the three projects. So as of now, Lakeside Tower has not yet confirmed in terms of the en bloc. They are still trying to en bloc it. The Parkview mentioned that is already confirmed, but according to one of the clients that we talked to, that out of these three projects, right, Lake Garden is the one that's in the middle, so it captures the best view.
Best view lah.
Yeah, according to them lah. Of course, post production we will put in some of the photos and videos of how the lake is going to look like.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this project is gonna preview like this coming weekend already. So, I believe you have done probably some prospecting with like
Reaching out.
the
Yeah.
team and so whatsoever.
Correct.
So, I also want to understand like, so what are the response from the consumer about the project when you are doing prospecting? Like for example, door knock, roadshow, or even Facebook, or any comments from the ground lah. Yeah.
So basically, all the clients that we're reaching out, right, they were quite surprised that these condos over here were finally en bloc, because for the longest time these condos were, I think they were built in the 70s. So no news for quite a while. People were quite excited to know what's going to happen to these three projects. So finally, this project was en bloc, and people are excited to know that, hey, I have a chance to buy into this area again, because now that the whole place is much more developed, it creates a lot of vibrancy in terms of lifestyle and all that into this area. And people who are only looking at Jurong area, right? The last launch was Lake Grande. So that was already completed in 2019. So
Okay.
yeah, so in the near vicinity, there's not much of a new project coming up for the past few years really. So when Lake Gardens is launched, completed in 2027, it's probably going to be the newest kid in the block lah. Yeah, so people are excited to come in, and for those two people who are buying into the Jurong story, then they would be very excited to know that Lake Garden is going to be the first launch. So do take advantage of what we so call the first mover advantage, because for after that there will be a few more projects coming up. So we are foreseeing that this project will be very very well received. Yeah.
Okay. Because recently there has also been quite a number of launches like in the east and in the west as well.
Yeah.
So what do you think, or how do you think Lake Garden residences can stand out compared to the other launches? So so like for example, the Mist, the Pine Tree Hill, Grand Diamond and Lentor Hill. So what do you think the Lake Garden stands out?
For people who are looking at the Lake Gardens, like what I mentioned just now, they will be very much appeal to the super huge, large garden slash lake kind of area, whereby for families who are looking at this kind of lifestyle, right? They like away from the hustle and bustle, and they like somewhere that they have a direct access to a giant park or a garden place where they can hang out with their friends and family. This will be very much appealing to them. And of course, for this particular development, it is the old for now it's only condo that has the direct side gate access to the park area. The remaining not sure yet. The remaining condos not sure yet. And people who really love the kind of nature, love the kind of every morning you wake up to the sound of birds chirping are possible for this condo.
But not the Uber, right?
No, 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 no. Hopefully not. There's in fact, when we mentioned about this topic, right? In fact, the developer actually engaged a field study to take down all the species and the what we call the fauna and fauna of the whole place. So that identify actually a lot of plants, trees, and birds hanging out along that piece of giant garden.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go to botanical garden, you don't have to go to bird paradise anymore.
Correct. So in fact, the developer also came up with this tagline. In fact, they say that this is the largest national garden in the OCR area.
Oh,
Yeah. So we know botanical garden is the biggest in Singapore. So this is the if I'm not wrong the first. This is the largest national garden that is in OCR region.
oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so moving on to the next question. So, what is the potential of this development? Because I think a lot of people, when they are looking into new launch, they're also hoping that they can actually capitalize on this to make some profit.
Capital appreciation and all
Yeah.
that.
So, what are like some of the comparative market analyses? Like comparing to other developments that is within the area.
Right.
How well are they performing, and maybe what are like the highest profit gain from like owners
The
in the
owners.
particular area? Yeah.
So we will take the most recent project as an example. We have Lake View, we have Lake Grande, we have Lakefront Residences. These are projects that are located further up north of Lake Gardens. From launch date to TOP date, on the average, they are looking at 20 to 25% jump in terms of their price point. So in Jurong vicinity, if you, I always joke with people you use 10 fingers, 2 times, you can finish counting all the projects there already. Because in District 22, there are only exactly 20 or 21 projects. So we mixed it that if let's say today HDB upgraders, they are coming to say that, hey, I want to upgrade to a condo and I still want to stay back in District 22. There are only that 20 to 22 projects that they can choose from. And if you look at the younger ones, they are typically more well received because younger families, they want to go for the modern facilities and all that. And then if you look at the whole of Jurong itself, right, because of the large catchment area whereby there are a lot of jobs in the western part of Singapore, like Tuas Megaport as well as the Jurong Island. So tenants who are renting in Jurong area, right, tenants who are working in Jurong area, right, they also want to rent Jurong condos because for convenience and all that. So in terms of capital appreciation, definitely there's that. In terms of rental yield, definitely you have a very large job catchment that's coming up. Plus, of course, in fact, the future upcoming JLD when it's fully developed, there will be even much more talent demand. Yeah.
Are there like any more government land sales in that particular area, or any redevelopment of new residential over at the area? Because I think for some of the consumer, the first thing that when they talk about capital appreciation, they will also want to know that, are there any upcoming land sales so that
Help them.
Yeah, correct, to help them.
So we have the white side. There's actually what we call a very big piece of land. The exact details I can't remember, but that one was a very mega project. They're looking for a master developer to do up the Jurong East piece of development, which will cover offices. I think there's one hotel and also residential component. So that white side, right, will definitely not be cheap. That one, if we know Jurong East MRT vicinity, right, only one condo project is over there, which is J Gateway. So for those who don't know, right, J Gateway was sold out within a day by Far East. I think first weekend all wiped out already. So people, the investor, the first batch of owners who bought J Gateway, they are also sitting on a good profit right now. And when this particular project is going to be developed, right, we are foreseeing that it's going to be having the same kind of hype and demand whereby investors will flood in and then buy. Of course, not forgetting the confirmed one, which is the redevelopment of
JQ, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be renamed to Jayden.
Jayden.
So that particular project, right, also is within the 500-meter radius of Jurong East MRT. So that one will be a mixed development whereby the bottom, I think first story to three story will be the retail
More, right,
component. Yeah, retail component. Then probably basement is car park. Maybe B1 got shops also, but then maybe fourth or fifth upwards is going to be the residential component. So that one is redevelopment done by CapitaLand. So I always check in with people. They say that, hey, probably if I want to wait for Jayden to be launching, right? If let's say you are the developer, which is CapitaLand, who is selling Jayden, right? You know that LakeGarden is selling well. Definitely in a centralized location, you will be pricing much higher.
Higher, yeah.
Yeah, much higher as compared to LakeGarden. So you appeal to a different kind of demographic. Yeah. For Lake Gardens, like I mentioned, people who like nature, green, quietness, then they will go for that. Then likewise, if let's say you're still waiting for Jayden, that one will be launching probably year end.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
year end. That's what I heard also.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you actually brought up a very good point also, because I mean, knowing that Jayden redevelopment, they are going to be like a integrate or rather a mixed development. So their selling price will definitely, I mean, depending on the performance of Lake Garden, right? So if they're going to launch high, then I think as an owner of Lake Garden, you had that kind of advantage or rather edge lah, whereby because we probably enter the market at a lower price, so it's easier for us to exit also. And if you are the kind of I mean, buyers that prefer like away from the hustle and bustle, more chill and tranquility environment, I think Lake Garden would be quite a good option also lah. And I think not forgetting, there are also upcoming land sales open for tender already at the Jurong Lake District area also. So there will be more pieces of land that is around the vicinity. Yeah. So I think with more land sales, it also generate a lot of safety net for like the Lake Garden residences buyer lah, I believe.
Yes. So we always use this analogy that rising tide will raise all the boats lah. So Jurong, if you imagine, the government is pumping in billions and billions of dollars to redevelop the whole piece of area. As long as you are one of the condo in Jurong vicinity, you will be expecting some sort of capital appreciation because of the major government transformation that's ongoing over there. Yeah.
All right. So, okay, I think that pretty much covered like a lot of like good pointers of about Lake Garden residences. So I also want to understand like I think some of the floor plans are already up, and yeah, I'm not too sure if you guys have it lah. I mean, what are the show unit types that are within the show flat?
Okay, for the show flat right now, they are showcasing the 2-bedder, 3-bedder, as well as the 5-bedder. So over there, the developer has done a very awesome job in terms of showcasing how this Lake Garden is going to be like. There will be a very large scale model to show not just only the Lake Garden, how is it going to like that they also showcase a portion of how the Lake Garden is going to be like. So from there you can sort of visualize, hey, if let's say you are buying say on 16th floor unit or 17th floor unit, what kind of view you'll be getting or from the Lake Garden vicinity. Yeah. Then in terms of, they also have something like a multimedia room that they try to create some form of sensory effect. They do the what they call the 4D 4D kind of effect. Then you have wind, then you have smell to sort of simulate that. Imagine you are staying in one of the unit in Lake Garden, you wake up, then what kind of sound, what kind of sensors you can be feeling from when you are staying in that particular unit.
All right. Okay, that's cool. I think that is the first show flat that I ever heard of that they give you this kind of 4D experience. Okay, so maybe you can also share with us like some of the layouts within the development, like what are the bedroom types, or rather the layout that you find most appealing. So for example, like myself, usually when I go to see show flat like the 2+ study, or the size is big, and dumbbell layout, then the room size maybe bigger than 8 square meter, like 9 or 10 square meter. So to you, like which layout do you find it most appealing?
I think for Wing Tai, right, they have done a very good job in terms of designing all the layout over here. I think So far as I've seen all the floor plans that's already been given to us, right? Really very squarish, very little with wasted space, and very efficiently designed. So far I have not found so-called any complaints or something that I find not so nice. One thing to note, very interesting for this project, right? They are first in the market to introduce this two-bedroom compact plus layout, which is very interesting one. They actually we all know, right, in the market actually a lot of people will prefer, if you talk about two-bedroom people prefer two bed two bath.
Bath, yes, correct.
Two bed one bath, sometimes maybe affordability issue or maybe balloting luck, then okay, no choice, you go for two bed one bath.
Yeah.
But if let's say your balloting luck is good or affordability is no issue, a lot of people actually prefer to have the two bed two bath. For this two bed compact plus, right, that the Wingtai, I think, is the first developer to introduce this concept. Instead of a full bathroom for the common bathroom, right, they give a powder room.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, I noticed that layout
Yeah.
when I was browsing through the show.
Correct,
So,
correct.
like the
So-
showering portion and the toilet bowl portion and like the powder room.
Yes. So the master bathroom still stay the same, no change. Then the common bathroom, right? Usually we expect, you have basin, toilet bowl, then shower
Shower
area.
facility,
Right?
yeah.
So this one, right? You just think it as a normal bathroom, but no shower facility.
Mm.
So they call it the two bedroom compact plus.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
very interesting. I think it's the first in the market to introduce this concept. If the demand is, if this layout type is very well received, I am pretty sure that many developers will also
Want to
so-called
adopt
copy
this-
the idea
this
lah.
layout, yeah.
Quite interesting because imagine myself, let's say I'm a young family with one kid, then probably I don't really need the full use of the common bathroom. Just the powder room is good enough. And also, if you have guests, sometimes you come over, not so nice to let them use your master bathroom toilet, right? So that powder room or guest toilet, right, comes in place, which is quite a good concept.
Yeah,
good
yeah, I
idea.
do agree. I do agree.
Yeah.
So I think that's why some of even the core central region or even the City Fringe project, like powder room has been very, very, very common nowadays, lah. Yeah.
Yeah. Then one more thing to highlight, right? Also first in the industry, I think it's first in the industry. They have this concept whereby it is like a pull-out side table for the common bedroom. Because nowadays, if you know that for new projects, common bedroom, you put in a queen, then maybe one side table, that's about it really.
Yeah.
Not much space really. So for Wingtime, right, what they do, right, is that for the common bedroom, you can put in a king. Then, of course, not much space for the side table, right? So at night, we want to use mobile phone, all that, right? You imagine there's a pull-out drawer or pull-out side table. Then there's a charging point beside it. You can just put your phone over there, and it becomes your temporary side table.
Okay.
Yeah,
So can is it big enough to be like study?
No, it's not. It's only a small area that is more like maybe this long lah, maybe about this
Oh,
length.
okay.
So it's like a pull out from your cabinet.
So you can practically lie down, put your iPad there, and like.
Oh, just by the side only. Just by the side
okay,
only.
okay.
So it's like a makeshift side table lah, so to speak. But it's a very good concept because if you want to put a king bed in your common room, then you think of it this way. You put already, you say, how I put my side table? Then instead of doing that, right, you have this pull out function over there. So I think this design is also the first in the industry that they adopt. Yeah.
Since you are talking about the common room can fit a king size bed, then do we have any specification of like the common bedroom size already?
That will be looking at 8 square meter, 8 or 9 square meter, depending on which layout.
Oh, okay.
But the concept is to have the flexibility that if you want to put a king bed, because king bed is quite
huge.
You want to put a king bed, you still have the pull-out side table concept.
Right.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting. Of course, if you put it in a super single, no issue. You put it in a super single, you still have
Ample space
to
lah.
put your study table and chair, no problem. Yeah.
Okay, so I think a lot of viewers, that stayed all the way to this part of the video, I think they are also very keen or very excited to know what is the price range and the PSF. So can you also share like the starting from price and the PSF range for like the various bedroom types?
Yeah. So while I was doing up this project, right, I was telling most of the people who are interested, right, I quoted them maybe it should be about 2001 to 2003 per square feet on the average. So very good news, the developer has already confirmed the per square feet starting from 1890. So it's a very attractive price point lah. Then for the one bedder, in terms of absolute quantum, starting from 1.01 million. So very attractive price as well. So in fact, I think if you're talking about the starting price, is below what I expected, because I did some research, right? The cost of acquiring the land plus the estimated cost, that the estimated profit that they're going to make, right? I was expecting them to be selling 2.1 to 2.3.
15 to 20% or 25% kind of profit margin,
Correct.
right?
So I think Wing Tai is also trying to make sure that this is they have a very good sales launch at the first day. So I think if let's say you are very interested in this particular project, right, don't miss it. I think for Wing Tai, this developer, they always price to sell very well. So for the first 30% of the units, try not to miss it. I think it will be very attractive price.
I think that means launch day is something that you guys cannot miss, because typically that, I mean, from my understanding, I think 1890 is very, very, very close to the break-even price already.
Correct.
So practically, Winkai is pricing this to sell, and if we are able to capture or rather secure a unit over there, I think it's quite risk-free lah, in a sense, if you are talking about capital appreciation, I believe.
Yes. So on the average, maybe on the average, maybe we talk about low 2,000 per square feet. But if you look at the vicinity range, right, LakeGarden is already selling close to 1,007 plus.
For resale,
For resale, it's already 1,007 plus. J Gateway already 1,009 plus.
Yeah, Gateway 1,009 plus.
Probably after this launch, you're gonna break the 2,000 mark. So yeah. Anyway, J Gateway is 2013 project.
Yes, correct. About 10 years old already.
Yeah, 10 years old already. So in terms of competition, in terms of upside potential, I think definitely the LakeGarden Residences, it does have a strong attractive points over there.
I think especially looking in the recent 1 or 2 years, seeing that a lot of launches that has crossed the 2,000 per square foot mark, and right now we actually have a project that is like 1890. I think it's really, really very, very attractive lah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you look at all the recent launches in terms of the OCR region, right, outside central region, looking at projects like recently launched, like for example the Mies, they are pricing it just slightly under 2,000 per square feet. Of course, that is a different locale altogether. But if let's say you are talking about Jurong, where so much hype about it, so much government plannings whereby they're going to grow this transformation township and all that, right? Then this is something that I think Wing Tai has priced it very attractively to attract people to come in and take a look.
All right, cool. Okay, and of course, before we end this video, right, maybe I want to also hear from your own opinion lah, like
personal opinion.
Yeah. So maybe tell me what you like or don't like about the LakeGarden Residences. Yeah.
Okay. So of course, like I say, for the LakeGarden Residences, it is located 3 bus stops away from the nearest MRT station. So of course, people who are very, very concerned, like they want to be like, just one lift down, then you go to the MRT station, then probably this project is not suitable for you, because after the 1 year shuttle bus is gone, right, then it will be a 3 bus stop to Lakeside MRT station. But of course, on the flip side, you are away from all the noise, so to speak. So it really depends on what kind of lifestyle that you and your family would want to live in. Because this area, I foresee, is going to be very serene, going to be very relaxed. Then you can, bring your kids really downstairs. Directly downstairs is the giant park.
Enjoy the nature. Yeah. So actually, every time I was actually sharing to some of my clients, like if you guys want to buy condo, right, then you guys private 嘛，就是要 exclusive, correct? So I think 3 bus stops away is still not that bad lah.
Still okay, because the buses over there are pretty frequent. So of course, peak hour everywhere is jammed, so no choice. But avoiding the peak hour, usually most of the time that area there is not that high traffic also. So even the units that are facing the road, right, off peak hours, you don't get so much of a traffic noise. So this is something what I like about this particular project. So then aside from that, right, if let's say you want to go for your nearest makan or your supermarket, right, then the nearest one will be this small little mall that is called Taman Jurong Food Center.
Yes.
So over there, you have your hawker center, you have your supermarket all around that area. So that's like 4 to 5 minutes walk from your main entrance of that project.
Okay.
Then other than that, hopefully we are really able to enjoy the first mover advantage, whereby if let's say the lakeside apartment is confirmed on block, right, and the kind of price point that the next developer is going to be buying at, most likely they will be selling at 2000 to 2003 per square feet, which is higher than
then
us
that will be
already.
the safety net already.
Yeah, that will be the safety net already. It's only a matter of time. And besides Jurong, if you look at it, government is not really releasing a lot of land sales. So I think if you talk about the whole of Jurong vicinity, right, you can be very safe to say that you buy any projects that is well received. Generally, you just hang on to it about 7 to 10 years. You'll be looking at a very good capital appreciation. Yeah.
All right, so I think that is a very, very in-depth sharing. So thank you, John, for actually spending your time with us to share about the LakeGarden residences. And of course, if you guys are keen to take a look at this development and have yet to book an appointment to view the show flat, right, I actually link our socials in the description section below. So feel free to contact me or John to actually arrange an appointment to view the show flat. All right, and of course, if you want to understand your financial eligibility, feel free to call or reach out to me at 97999303. And if you like this video and like to find out more about property related information, do help me like, share, and subscribe, and that will help me a lot. So see you in my next video. Signing out.
Cheers. Bye.